Hello guys and welcome back to the F1 Tube YouTube channel, and in today's video we will be reviewing the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Again, it was not a classic. There was some moments that were really intriguing, but apart from that it was just another dull race. And I am going to score it a 6 out of 10 because how intriguing it was until the end of the race. We didn't know what was going to happen. But for Azerbaijan's standards, this was a woeful race. Now let's dive into my review, and let's start off with our race winners Mercedes, scoring their 4th consecutive 1-2 finish in 2019. Valtteri Bottas moved to the top of the standings with the victory, and he basically won it off the start. Hamilton did get a better start and he had the inside line into turn 1, but by his own admission he was not aggressive enough. Bottas kept the racing line and just went round the outside, and from there on in he kind of controlled the race. And although Hamilton was closing in the closing stages, Bottas really just had Hamilton in his pocket, as the turbulent air really did play a big factor. I do believe Hamilton was quicker, but Bottas had that critical track position. Ferrari will leave this weekend knowing they have disappointed, not for the first time in 2019. Although Vettel scored another podium and Leclerc came home 5th, so not bad points, but they really should have won this weekend. And what has cost them victory is Leclerc's crash, when I would put it down to a rookie error pushing way too hard in qualifying too. I mean, Red Bull again maximised their true potential on Max Verstappen's side, really keeping Vettel honest for most of the race. What hindered his race was obviously his poor start, losing out to Perez at the start, and took a few laps to overtake him. Max really has matured in 2019, but credit does have to go to Pierre Gasly. After starting from the pit lane, he scythed his way through the pack. Yes, the Red Bull is easily the 3rd quickest car on the grid, but he was really decent today until engine problems forced him out of the race. Renault had nothing really on race day. Hulkenberg could only manage 14th, and Ricciardo had an issue with Kvyat, which I will come on to later. I mean, Haas didn't have anything either, to be honest. I am really fearing for them right now. Their qualifying pace isn't that bad. I mean, Azerbaijan is the only exception, but when it comes to the races, they are dreadful. What a day for McLaren. P7 with Sainz, his first points for McLaren, and P8 with Norris. Although Norris did get into Q3 while Sainz didn't, Sainz has had the pace on Norris the entire weekend, so I'm not surprised to see Sainz ahead of Norris in the race. Sergio Perez has completed what can only be described as one of his best weekends in the last year. Qualifying P5, finishing P6, really showing the potential of him as a driver and what the racing point car really can achieve. Lance Stroll did really well to fight back to P9, but he really needs to sort out his qualifying pace. This is the thing that hinders his race results. Once again, Kimi Raikkonen was brilliant. I'm going to say it now, he has been the best driver in 2019 so far. He registered a further point in his championship tally for 2019, whilst Antonio Giovonazzi could only manage 12th. Not a bad race, but when it comes to the races, he just has not stepped up. What a dejecting day for Toro Rosso, and more specifically Daniil Kvyat. After starting P6, it really just went down the drain really. He fell back and then hit problems. I think the Russian's problem was either downshifting, so it's something to do with the gearbox, or just the brakes altogether, because that Toro Rosso chassis looked far from 100% healthy. Then he hit problems with Ricciardo, but Albon never really had pace the entire weekend. And Williams, I mean, their reliability again is not the worst on the grid, but their pace certainly is. Now let's elaborate upon the Kvyat Ricciardo incident. Now Ricciardo went for an indicative move into turn 3, locked up, and then Kvyat got caught up in it, and for me that is Ricciardo's fault. Yes, he can't control how committed Kvyat is to the corner, but what he can control is his overall control of his car, and he just totally missed the apex and hindered Kvyat. Then whilst attempting to reverse onto the track, the Aussie hit Kvyat again. Now for me, as Ricciardo retired from that race, he has to get a grid penalty for the Spanish Grand Prix. And to those of you that say Ricciardo could not see Kvyat, then I've got a message for you. No. There are actually things on F1 cars called mirrors. The official driver of the day vote was awarded to Charles Leclerc, which I cannot agree with. He was never really scintillating throughout the entire Grand Prix. I'm going to award Driver of the Day to Kimi Raikkonen, pit lane to 10th. What more could you ask for? Valtteri Bottas now leads the World Drivers' Championship via the fastest lap he picked up in Australia. I've never really been a fan of the fastest lap, and one of the variables for that was because I don't want fastest lap to determine the championship, which at the moment it is. Vettel has overtaken Verstappen for 3rd in the championship, and you can see the rest of the top 10 on your screens right now. And Mercedes lead by a whopping 74 points in the constructors' standings at round 4. I mean, this is getting ridiculous. They are over 100 points ahead of Red Bull in 3rd. Yeah, this is becoming rather depressing how dominant Mercedes have been this year. We have McLaren in 4th with Racing Points in 5th, Alfa Romeo 6th, and you have Renault and Haas in P7 and P8 respectively. What on earth has happened to them this season? And Williams and Toro Rosso maintain their respective positions. But guys, that is it for today's video. Please like this video, comment down below what you thought of this race review, as well as the 2019 Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel, the F1 Tube YouTube channel. I'm really striving towards getting 40 subscribers in the next few days. So if we can achieve that aim in the next few days, that would be highly appreciated. But yeah guys, until next time guys, see you later.